What is going on, YouTube fam? So you probably noticed that my setup is a little bit different from... Oh, wait. One moment. Okay, much better. What is going on, YouTube fam? You probably noticed that my setup is a little bit different. I got the green screen in the back, and I got this microphone up in front. I was just moving things around and playing around with it, and I didn't really want to change it up to make this video. So uh, don't mind it for now. I'm also testing this new audio capability, so hopefully it'll sound a lot better in this video than before, but we'll see. And so for this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been on everyone's mind, which is the coronavirus or COVID-19. So it seemingly came out of nowhere, and the first time I heard about it was about 3 months ago or at the end of last year, and it only really came up to my area about last week, and that's when my company first told us to start working from home, and we started hearing on the news about a few positive cases where people were tested positive for the coronavirus. And what we're thinking is that probably means there's a lot more people positive, but they're most likely untested. So we have no idea if who has it or who doesn't. And a lot of people don't even show symptoms for it, which the symptoms are having a fever, coughing, and having shortness of breath. And there's also a lot of confusion and myths out there, so I want to be careful about what I say because I'm not even sure if the things that I know are incorrect or not. But from what I've looked at so far, my understanding is that we have currently no vaccine for it, which is a big concern. And the biggest thing that we're trying to avoid right now is overloading the healthcare system. A lot of people are worried that if everyone gets sick right now, that our healthcare system is not set up to handle everyone coming in at the same time. So in order to help that, we're trying to delay the spread of the virus by doing what's known as social distancing. And that's basically having everyone not be social for a little while. And I don't know exactly what a little while is. It's anywhere between as little as 2 weeks to who knows how long, a couple of months. And what that should do is it should help prevent the amount of preventable deaths that occur because our healthcare system can't handle an overload of sick people. And right now, older people and young kids are the ones who are most at risk for having a lot of issues due to complications. So what we were told is to stay inside as much as you can, if you can. And also, if you have to be outside, try to wear a mask, try not to touch a lot of things, and stay at least 6 feet away from other people if you can, because the virus supposedly is spread by like droplets if people sneezes or coughs. And also, it might be if you touch something, it might go on your hands and you're likely to touch your face. And I've also heard that it can also be caused by if you sneeze into the air or just by breathing into the air, that the virus potentially could be in the air, so up to 3 hours long. So if you walk past an aisle where someone sneezed, you could potentially catch it too. But again, this is just stuff that I've heard. I'm not sure how true that is, but but it's probably good to err on the side of caution and just try to avoid going out to places or wearing a mask if you can. And the scariest part is that a lot of people who don't show symptoms can still be carriers and are still contagious. And we're being told to try to quarantine yourselves for about 2 weeks. That's when the symptoms should start showing up. So if you haven't been in contact with a lot of people for 2 weeks and you don't show any symptoms, then you probably don't have it, which means that you're safe to go around other people who don't have it. But it's also difficult to know who else hasn't been around other people if they've been properly isolating themselves, which is why there's all this confusion and uncertainty around. I haven't been going to a lot of the things that I normally go to, like CrossFit and dancing and jiu-jitsu, just because of this issue. And I'm not really scared for myself. It's mostly that I don't want to be a person who infects other people. I think usually I'm pretty healthy and I don't show symptoms, so I'm always worried that I'm a carrier and I just never show any symptoms. So just to be on the safe side, mostly for other people, I choose to lock myself in as much as I can. But if you do have to go out, don't forget to wear a mask and wash your hands often, using soap for at least 20 seconds. And also, if you don't have access to water and soap, you can use hand sanitizer as much as you can as well. So beyond the health issues, there's also been some other interesting effects in the world due to this. One of the things is the economic markets. So for the last 3 years or so, we've been waiting for some sort of big dip in the market, some sort of depression. And it seems that coronavirus has started this recession in the market. So I've been looking at the stock markets a little bit, and I noticed that there's a couple of companies that have lost a lot of their value, over half of their market cap, and it's been fluctuating rapidly day to day, so much that the market has actually halted for at least 2 days now in the past week. On one hand, that's a bad thing, but on the other hand, if you are looking long term and you believe in the markets, then this could be a really good chance to buy. I'm not a financial person, so you shouldn't take anything I say too seriously, but that's just something to think about. Also, grocery stores are starting to put a limit on what you can buy. So some essential items you can only have 2 items of. I've been seeing that in my local Safeway. I've also heard from friends that fights have broken out, and toilet paper is sold out in a lot of places. That seems to be the biggest thing for some reason. I don't know why everyone is buying toilet paper. So many shelves are completely empty. It's a very weird thing to see. It's almost like a Mr. Beast video or some sort of zombie apocalypse scene where the store does not have things in it for some reason. Amazon is also delaying packages so that they can get out essential items first, as opposed to if you wanted to prime ship your inflatable pool or some other non-essential item. Another thing that's been happening is restaurants and bars, they're starting to close down a lot earlier, and they're limiting the amount of people that can actually go inside the restaurant. So for example, if you wanted to go to a bar and get a drink, if you don't have an actual seat, then you won't be served. You can't just stand up and order things anymore in some places. And some places have even just completely shut down or only are offering takeout now, just to limit the amount of people that can go in and out. So one definite downside to this is there are a lot of people being either laid off, or they are getting limited work hours, or they're not getting a lot of contracts, or they're being forced to take leave without pay. And that's even affected at least 2 friends that I know personally. I've been hearing on the news that interest rates have been dropping to 0, but it's also very difficult to get because a lot of people are trying to get those, which actually is kind of increasing the rates that you can get right now. But if you have been laid off and you have a mortgage that you're struggling to pay, I have been reading in the news that you might be able to halt your mortgage payments for up to a year so that not everyone will start defaulting on their mortgages, I assume. And I've also been hearing about a stimulus package that might be going out in April and May, meaning that a lot of people might be seeing checks for $1,000. That's something very new that I've been seeing on the news and hearing from my friends, so that might not be an actual thing yet. I'm fortunate enough to have a job where I can work remotely, but I know there's a lot of people who aren't as fortunate. So I wanted to remind you guys that it's really important to keep others in mind and reach out to them, because during this time there's a lot of uncertainty and confusion, and there's a lot less people available for others to talk to. So if you haven't been hearing from someone, make sure that they're okay and that they're not overwhelmed with all of this confusion and fear. I'm hoping by making this video that it will clear some of these things up, as well as making someone hopefully a little bit happier. If it did that for you, please consider sharing this video, and I'd be grateful for that. One way or another, we'll make it through. So stay hopeful, guys, and stay safe. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.